welcome to Chai, Chat and Wine. I'm Keena.
And I'm Sonal.
And Sonal, I have to ask you today, do you have anything that is fluffy, furry, scaly, stinky, spiky, that you love so much that you could not be without?
Well, many family members come to mind. No, not at all. No, I don't know. And I think I know where you're going with this one. Mm-hmm. You're asking about a pet, aren't you?
I am asking about a pet, yes, because today we're going to talk about, well, not pets, but pet bereavement.
Yeah. Which
is, it's following on from the Queen's loss, really. Queen lost her doggy a few weeks ago, which was devastating for her. She's devastated by the loss of her doggies. And we thought this is actually a big topic, isn't it, where people lose pets that they're attached to.
It seems to be a member of the family, somebody that they've become so fond of, and to suddenly have them not around. It's a bereavement at the end of the day, whatever way, shape or form it is, but it's a bereavement.
And I think you and I will both put our hands up and say we were both guilty, well, me in the past, but you maybe still sort of not totally understanding and not being fully empathetic with when friends or people we've known have lost pets, and we've obviously felt sad for them, but not taken it in fully. Now that I'm in this position, well, I've had pets all my life, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now that I'm in this position, though, I relate so much more as to what that loss actually would mean.
Yeah, I do agree with that, because I think that, I'm not an animal lover. I don't like pets. I don't like animals of any form or shape, and certainly not in my house or whatever. You know what I'm like. But I think having seen people recently and people go through it, and I've just seen the effect it has had on them, I think I've understood it a bit better. But I'm still definitely not in the league where I would think, you know what, this is just... Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make a lot of sense. It does. I mean... So, like, we're talking about the Queen and how attached she is and was to her dogs. So, Fergus is a doggy, doggy is a cross between a dachshund and a corgi. I think that's how you say it, dachshund and a corgi. I think sometimes pronounced as Dutch hound, but that's not right. But anyway, and she's always had a corgi since her 18th birthday was when she was given her first corgi, Susan. And from then on, she's been bred to have a long line of dogs, and the Queen has had over 30 dogs in her lifetime. And, but the Queen's picture is not complete unless you see the dogs. You know, whenever you see the Queen, you expect to see the dogs, don't you? It's part and parcel. More than
when she's at her relaxed, not her formal portraits, but her relaxed kind of, image is very much with the dogs. And in that standing,
Yeah, I mean, even that sketch that they had at the beginning of the Olympics, Monty, I think, was a dog then. And he's a famous one, isn't he? Because he's in there with Daniel Craig and the Queen walking down, where that Olympics opening thing. So, yeah, but Monty passed away, unfortunately. But yeah, so he's very special. Well, he was a famous dog, but the dogs are really... Did you know that at Buckingham Palace, the dogs have their own special food menu? They actually...
What?
Food menu. So every day a menu is printed and put up as to what the dogs are going to have that day.
Oh, my word.
They're utterly spoiled. They have special rubber boots made for them, which was actually, I think, made by the person who created the rubber vest for police people, so, against stabbings and stuff. But yeah, it's amazing how much these dogs actually mean to her. And she has been known to say that these dogs have brought to her a way of just coping with all the stresses and sadness that's been part of life, really, for her. So going on these walks and the unconditional love, the unconditional support, the joy, the fun that these animals bring. I mean, we're talking about dogs here because I have a dog and Queen loves her dogs, but it could be any animal, cats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like growing up, I've had the grey African parrots. Remember them?
I do remember them. Certainly the last one you had, I do remember. Incredibly clever. Smart parrot.
Funny thing used to imitate my dad and make my mum think there was a phone call for her. And yeah, it was all funny. Then I've had goldfish. And then we've had guinea pigs, and we've had a rabbit, and we've got the dog now. So losing the goldfish was sad, but I was okay with that. losing the guinea pigs, again, I was sad, but not devastated. One of the guinea pigs we had to put down, actually. And that's another thing. When, when you have pets, you have the option of ending their suffering.
Yeah, I think that how you've said it is the right. It's ending their suffering, isn't it? Really, and I think that's the humane thing to do.
Yeah. We can't extend that to humans, unfortunately, but we can do that for animals. I mean, that's again a very, very difficult decision. I suppose it's maybe the only thing the human equivalent is if you have somebody who's on life support machines and you've been told that there's nothing further we can do. You can turn off the life support machine. That must be a crazily difficult decision to make.
Yeah. I think that's probably another topic, actually. That's euthanasia, isn't it? And I think in this country we don't obviously believe we don't have it in our laws, but other countries do.
Yes.
And that's definitely another topic I think we can definitely go into.
We should, but, the fors and against, and some people would, anyway, we will talk about it then, but yes, the fors and against. But for pets, that it's much more clear cut. If they're suffering, you are told that you can do this and you do it. And again, it's a difficult decision, but you know that you've put the pet's needs above yours because you don't want to let go, but it needs to go. So, and you can end its suffering and let it go.
And you're the owner, so you have that right to make that decision. But I've heard some people are putting pets down even just because they're fed up with them. They don't want them. No. They're being put down.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, apparently. But a lot of people, especially with lockdown, people brought pets and things like that. But now with people going out, the pets are not used to being on their own at home and things like that. And people haven't got the time to kind of, for many reasons, they don't want the pet anymore. And they're putting them down for no good reason. So,
but you can't. The vet won't do that.
Apparently, the vet can't say no because you're the owner of the pet.
No, I did not know this.
Yeah, that's the way I've understood it. I could be wrong, but that's the way I've understood it. So
that's just outrageous. I mean, obviously I've heard of where people, the famous ads, the dogs are not just for Christmas or whatever, they're for a life, but so I know people abandon their pets, but oh my goodness, I'm going to go away and look at that. That's terrible if that's happening where people are putting their pets down because they no longer, well, that's,
they don't want them this year. Yeah.
That's outrageous. But, no, so that's no good. But most people though, we are devastated when something happens to our pet and we lose them. And because they're such a big part of our family, we do go into mourning. And in fact, the Queen went into mourning when Monty died. Monty, the famous dog who was in the Olympic opening thing. And the royal standard was lowered to halfway when that happened. And that was in 2012.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so they're a huge part of her life. And they're a huge part of many people's life, not just dogs, as I said, all pets. And you do, I mean, I think when the parrot died, I was very young then, so my parents decided I was at school, and by the time I came home at lunchtime, the parrot had been buried, because it had died, not just buried alive. But I was really cross with my parents, because they didn't give me that chance to say goodbye, right? And I was really cross then. And when we were able to say goodbye to the guinea pig, that was obviously part of the process. And when the rabbit was not put down, the rabbit was murdered by a fox. So that was very sad.
Quite horrific. That even bothered me. I think that was really awful. When you described what happened, it was just horrific.
Well, that did break my heart because there was a lot of, I could have prevented that. I should have done this. I should have done that. I didn't do this. I let him down. I didn't do enough for him. I didn't protect him. He was an animal under my care, and I should have done more to protect him. But who knew that was, going to happen? But so anyway, the fox got him, and it was awful. And it took me a long time to get over that. But now that I have the dog's not replaced anybody. The dog has his own space in life. I couldn't get another rabbit. I couldn't just go and get another rabbit because I know some people can.
You can't replace them, can you? I mean, that's the thing to understand is that people say, "Oh, just get another dog or get another rabbit," or you just can't. It's not the same thing. It's that personality you've lost, basically. So
the pet was gone, and there's no replacing him. But the dog is a completely different type of pet, and is completely part of our life. So if anything happened to him, I honestly don't know how I would cope with that. But you were saying that you found some stuff online about that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that well, it is a bereavement, and I think you need to take that seriously. And if you do need to talk to somebody, you know, reach out, talk to people, and there's certainly a lot of organisations that can help with this. Things like, I think it's the Animal Samaritans,
yes.
And a lot of other support groups that are well worth looking up and using, because, you know, again, these pets, animals, whatever, you know, they all, sometimes you're on your own and that's all you have, and when they go, it's devastating. Your whole life changes completely, so you need help. You need support.
You do.
Don't take it lightly. Yeah, and if somebody else tries to make it small, you know what? Only you know what you're going through.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah, and allow yourself that space and time to heal and grieve, and ultimately, yes, move on. But that doesn't mean you forget the animal. Just like you wouldn't forget family. You know, we did when we lost our grandmother, we did the whole thing on losing people you love. You know, same thing. Look at photographs, happy memories, whatever it is. Speak to someone if you need to. You need that support. And of course, over lockdown, the pets have become even more important. People have become even more reliant on them. So, you know, they're even, it's a bigger whole. It's a bigger deal. So let's give it the space that it needs. And there is support for anyone whose pets have died or they've lost their pets in any other ways, because, yes, you know, predators can come. It's the food chain, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, it was awful. But don't feel alone. Don't feel isolated. There is help and support available. And yeah, but hope that humans and pets stay well, stay healthy. And we will wish well for everybody, and we will continue and be more empathetic. We have learned, we have grown within ourselves to understand that loss comes in many different ways. And that's the journey of life, isn't it? But
exactly, yeah. So everyone take care.
Yeah, take
and
care.
Look after yourself.
Yeah, and I know you say that you're not attached to animals, but I know how much you love my little doggy. I've seen the way you look at him. So if anything did happen to him...
From a distance. I do love him from a distance.
No, you're letting him quite close to you. I have seen the way you look at him. So on that note, take care, guys, and we will see you soon. Well, we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.